wrap their control in a smile, and you didn't even notice. Kindness isn't always as pure as it seems. It's often a mask for something darker, a way to make you feel indebted without realizing it.
It's easy to mistake kindness for care. It's easy to mistake manipulation for love. But every time they showed up with sweetness, they were collecting a piece of you. You didn't know it at first. It felt good to be wanted, to be needed. But soon, their kindness started to feel like a trap. A trap that made you question, do I owe them something? You start to realize, kindness can be used as a tool to control. It's not about making you feel loved. It's about making you feel obligated. They gave you their time, their help, their care. But what they were really giving you was a debt you'd have to repay later. They don't want your love. They want your compliance. They don't need you to choose them. They just need you to feel like you have no choice. And when you feel like you owe someone, you start acting differently. You start adjusting your behavior to match what they want. You start performing for their approval, not out of love, but out of obligation. It's subtle. At first, it feels like genuine care. You feel seen, heard, appreciated. But little by little, that kindness starts to come with strings attached. They begin to expect things, expectations you never agreed to. And every favor they give you feels more like a transaction. What you thought was love is really just a power play. Because the more you feel indebted, the less freedom you have to make your own choices. And the less freedom you have, the more control they gain. It's not just about the kindness anymore. It's about how you've been manipulated into staying small. It's time to stop believing that kindness is always pure. Because real love doesn't come with strings. Real care doesn't need anything in return. But as long as you're caught in the illusion of their kindness, you'll never be free. You'll keep playing by their rules, acting out of guilt, fear, or duty, not out of genuine desire. The moment you stop accepting their gifts with hidden costs, you start to see clearly. You realize that what you thought was affection was really just a way to keep you in line. You have to take back your autonomy. You have to reclaim your choices. Stop letting them define what you owe them. And the first step? Saying no without guilt. The first no is always the hardest. It feels like betrayal, like you're rejecting their kindness, like you're cutting off a connection. But here's the truth. You're not rejecting them. You're rejecting the control they've placed on you. You're not hurting them. You're protecting yourself. When you stop accepting their kindness as a way to control you, you start to take back your power. You realize that true respect comes from mutual freedom, not from one person always needing something in return. You are not obligated to be their emotional caretaker or their emotional punching bag. You don't owe anyone the right to drain you just because they appear kind. And when you say no, you're not being cruel. You're being honest. You've spent so much of your life saying yes to everyone else that you've forgotten how to say yes to yourself. You've been so busy trying to please others that you've lost touch with what you need. But it's time to reclaim your time, your energy, your peace. You don't have to apologize for protecting yourself. You don't have to explain why you need space, why you need silence, why you need to breathe without someone else's expectations hanging over you. You are not their emotional support system. You are not their backup plan. And you are not a tool for their comfort. You are a human, worthy of respect, worthy of peace, worthy of love that doesn't come with strings attached. And when you start to say no with confidence, you will notice the weight lifting, the power returning to your hands, and you'll realize you've always been in control. You just had to stop playing by their rules. The world will keep trying to pull you back into their game. They'll guilt trip you. They'll manipulate you. They'll try to make you feel responsible for their emotions. But now, you're stronger than their tactics. You've stopped playing their game and started playing your own. You're no longer at the mercy of their kindness. You're no longer at the mercy of their expectations. You've built your own boundaries, and you're standing behind them with pride. And the more you protect yourself, the more respect you earn. Not from begging for it, but from setting the standard of how you deserve to be treated. You don't have to be liked. You don't have to be needed. You just have to be respected. The real power doesn't come from the control of others. It comes from the freedom of choosing yourself. When you start to say no to what doesn't serve you, you begin to clear the path to what does. You start seeing yourself differently, not as someone who needs to be constantly validated, not as someone who needs to prove their worth, but as someone who is enough just as they are. This isn't a world where you have to shrink to fit in. This is a world where you stand tall, in your truth, in your boundaries, in your power. And the more you own that power, the less you care about fitting into someone else's mold. You don't need their approval anymore, because you've found something even more valuable, your own respect. Freedom isn't about running away from everything that scares you. It's about standing still in your own truth, unmoved by the world's noise, undistracted by the people trying to pull you back into their chaos. The more you reclaim your time, your energy, the less you'll care about what others think. You'll realize that their opinions don't define you. Your peace, your choices, your voice, that's what matters now. You've stopped giving away pieces of yourself to fit in, and you've started taking those pieces back to build something stronger, something real. You're no longer bending to fit their mold. You're breaking it. And with each no you say, you step further into your own power. You've spent so long trying to fit into someone else's world, but now you're creating your own. You're not shrinking to make space for others anymore. You're expanding to make space for yourself. No more compromises, no more silence, no more pretending you're someone you're not, just to make people comfortable. This is where you stop apologizing for being you. This is where you stop dimming your light to fit into their shadows. You have everything you need to thrive, and it's all within you. Your strength, your worth, your freedom. No one else can define you. Not anymore. You're the author of your own story, the creator of your own future. And now that you've stepped into that power, there's nothing that can stop you. You're no longer just surviving. You're thriving. You're no longer waiting for the world to accept you, because you've already accepted yourself. You've let go of the fear of rejection. You've let go of the need to fit in. You've let go of the need to prove anything to anyone. And in that letting go, you've discovered the power of being. No more running after validation. No more pretending to be what others want. No more compromising your peace for someone else's comfort. Now, you walk through the world as yourself, with full confidence, full presence, and full ownership of your life. You've created a life that's uniquely yours, one that doesn't need permission to exist. This is the final step, the moment you realize you've been everything you needed all along. You've built your own strength, your own peace, your own freedom. You're not waiting for the world to change anymore. You've changed. You're not waiting for permission to be yourself. You've already given it to yourself. And now, no one can take that from you. Not the world, not the opinions, not the people who tried to hold you back. You've created a life that's fully yours, a life built on your truth, a life built on your power. And this is just the beginning.